Hello and welcome back to the basement. Welcome to my small workshop. So, in the last episode, I kind of gave you a shop tour and started to ask questions about, well, what do you want me to do as my first project in the new workshop? I'm still building out the workshop, still acquiring tools to do luthier work. So while I'm doing that, I still have a bunch of other projects that I want to get going on. You see right here is one of them. I went ahead and did these off camera. So I had three pieces of wood that I originally planed and epoxy filled, and I was going to do some skateboard hangers for my kids to put their boards on their room. And then we decided, you know what, we're just going to build a big rack to stick it in the garage. Haven't built that yet, but I decided to use these pieces of wood for guitar hangers. So I made three of them. This is the first of the three that I made. And the other two, well, one of them's in my daughter's room hanging up an acoustic guitar in her room, which I'm really hoping she'll start playing. But I need to restring it, need to do some setup work on that guitar so it's playable, a good instrument for her to learn on. And I've got some other things I want to kick off, including I want to introduce you to the first big build project that we're going to do here. So first, let's get to my random box of Sweetwater goodies. Some of this will be used in this first project. Some of it will be used in something else. I got a little bit of a surprise for you. Alright, so about once a year, I'll just order strings and just, stuff, random stuff, nothing big. And this was time for that order. I usually try and order 2 sets of strings per bass guitar at a time. That'll generally last me a year. I generally restring my basses every 6 months. And it gets expensive, so I try to alternate months. And I've been experimenting with different strings. And so anyway, let's see what goodness I've got here. Alright, here are some acoustic strings for my daughter's guitar. Yes. I'm going to use this on the first big build project, so I'll make some sort of a hanger for the tool wall for this, probably on this episode, maybe. But this is a GrooveTech jack and pot wrench, so it's got 3 different size hex bits on it, and it'll basically take anything from the nut on the jack plate to the nut on a pedal, nuts on the holding the pots in place, that sort of thing. This will fit almost major sizes. Catalog, 3 sets of drumsticks. So I got 2 sets of Pure Sound. These are the blasters. Yes, this is an Emerson Red 0.047 UF tone capacitor. So this is an oil and paper tone capacitor. This is going to be used in a project coming pretty soon. All right, got some 4-string bass sets. These are the medium gauge. These are 105 to 50s, 4-string bass, Diodario XLs. So I got a resonant side Evans drum head. I don't usually play with picks, but I do every once in a while. So I got some 1mm and also got some 2mm. I've never tried a thicker pick than 1mm, so it'll be interesting to see what these Dunlop Gator Grip 2mm will feel like. Fast fret. Of course, the obligatory Sweetwater candy bag. I like this. I mean, it's cool. It's a nice touch. I forgot. Got 2 sets of phosphor bronze 4-string bass strings. I wonder what those might be for. So meet the newest member of the Bassment family. This is 4-string acoustic bass. Oh man, I love these names. This is an AEB5ENT. Come on, Ibanez, give them some names. Anyway, I was trolling on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm always on the lookout for a deal I can't walk away from. Usually I've been cruising for tools, but I do hit the musical instrument section up every once in a while. I've been looking to get the 5-string version of this bass. The 5-string version is a little bit nicer, but it's the same body style. It's a newer build, and it's been something I've been wanting to get for about 1.5 years, 2 years now. But every time I want to order it, every time I'm ready to pull the trigger, it's never in stock. So obviously with the coronavirus, and most Ibanez's I believe are made in Indonesia, obviously import-export, they're probably not going to come in anytime soon. So I saw this one at a really, really good price. This is not an expensive model by any stretch of the imagination. It's fairly cheap, actually. There are other more entry-level ones, but what I like about this specifically is the shape. I like acoustics without pick guards on them, and I like the single cut for some reason. It's just, that to me is the shape for an acoustic guitar. It just looks perfect. Anyway, I wanted the 5-string because I wanted to tune it the same way I have my LTD bass, which is E to C. So that's a regular low E instead of on the top versus the low B that you would have on a typical 5-string. I wanted that just to do chord stuff. I figured an acoustic guitar would be good to do chord stuff on. But anyway, I've had this for just under a week, and I've been playing it. I've cleaned the strings as best I can. I haven't taken them off because I wanted to restring it when I took these strings off, but I didn't have the strings in. So I ordered these, and we're going to slap them on and give this thing a rip, see what it sounds like. Alright, so I have to do a proper demo. I can't just play it in there and not mic it up properly and do things right. So what I've got going on right now is I've got this plugged in. I've got it running through my Gallagher RB700 Mark II head. I've got the cab disconnected and I'm running the DI. I'm also going to be running an SM57 with a little pop screen over it. This is not a good microphone for recording acoustic instruments, mostly for amplified instruments. It sounds really good. But this is what I've got. I think it sounds better than a SM58 clone that I have in my overhead condenser mics for my drum kit. So I'm running with that. So what I'll do is I'm going to play a variety of different techniques. I'm not an acoustic bass player. I've been playing around with this for about a week, so this is what I've come up with, but I've had a lot of fun playing with it. So here we go. So there you have it. That's the demo of the Ibanez Acoustic 4-string bass model AEB5ENT. I'm enjoying this instrument. It's a lot of fun. It does need some setup work, particularly with the string action and the height. It's a little bit high for my taste, so it's got a lot of buzzing in places that I'm not used to having. I find that I have to press down really hard up against the frets to kind of cancel that out. Particularly on the 4th fret, on the 14th fret on the G. I've definitely got a loose fret that I can stick my fingernail under right there, so I've got to hammer that down and glue it down and fix it somehow. But anyway, for what I paid for it, I mean, this is a great pickup. I think it's going to add some versatility to my playing, because I don't really play chords and picks very often, but I really, especially with a little bit of overdrive and a little bit of reverb on it, and I really dig the sound of it. But anyway, let me know what you think. What would you pay for something that sounds like this to noodle around on and to be able to, play without having to be plugged in? Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I'm Brian from down in the basement.